how are you doing today? My name is Louis Lee, and I'd like to introduce the Eubanks Conservatory of Music and Arts Guitar Program. Welcome, this is Eubanks Conservatory of Music and Arts Guitar Program, instruction number 5. Today we're going to talk about the right hand, the left hand technique, and in your book on page 8 and 9, I just want to explain this. It tells you the correct way to hold the pick. So, because that's very important. A lot of times where you hold the pick will determine on your proficiency in your sound. So what I've done is I've laid out how to hold the pick. What you want to do is make a fist, open the fist, and keep all of your 4 fingers bent, but like a claw. And you put the pick where the first joint is on the first finger, and you hold the thumb directly over it. So when you pick, you do not need a whole lot of pick, because if you pick like this, it could fly, come out of your hands. For an example, if you want to play something like, I would have to have a firm grip on the pick. And so that's why you want to hold it like this, because it will not slide. A lot of guitar players hold it like this. Sometimes if you drop your pick, if you can't find it, you're in bad luck. So that's something that we want to talk about, which is important. How to hold the pick. And that's on table 7, it's in your book. And next we want to talk about the proper finger alignment and the claw technique, which is on that same page, and you'll see it. This is A and B, and it explains everything that I'm discussing right now. And that's for, again, your left hand. And your technique is very important. So if you look at, you have 4 frets, and what you want is for each of your fingers to line up with the frets respectively. So you want to bend, you want to have a claw, another claw, because your strongest points are at the tips of your fingers. Okay? And if you do it flat, it's not going to work out. It's not going to be the same. So what you want is to make sure that you have a claw, and when you approach our lessons, you want it to look like this. Really nice and clean technique, so you can get the best sound that you want. So that's something that is important with the finger exercise. Remember, that's on page 8. And next, what we're going to talk about will be the finger exercise continuation from lesson 4. And so what we're going to do is we're going to combine the right hand picking with the left hand at this point. And so we've already gone through the down, up strokes. Now we're going to approach and work together in concert with the left hand and the right hand. So what you want is to play the first 4 frets 4 times each, and I'll demonstrate. Get my metronome going. Remember, today I have all of my equipment set up, and here's the beat. So I'm going to demonstrate what we're going to do, then I'll explain it, then we'll do it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 2. This is 3. And 4. And go to the next string. That's 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'll stop there. And you go all the way up to the lowest 6th string and back to the high string. And you do that for 5 minutes. And we'll do that together, but I just wanted to demonstrate the lesson. And so, again, that's why you're using the claw. If you were watching the way I was playing that, you want your fingers to be bent. So, having said that, what we're going to do is we're going to try the lesson for 5 minutes, and then we'll stop. Let me check my timer here, see where we are. Okay. And so, technology. One, two, three, four. That's two. This is three. This is four. Now keep your fingers planted. When you do this exercise, do not lift your fingers. Do not do this. Do not do that. I'll try to get this as four. I can feel each one from just playing. This is one. Remember, do not do this. Keep the fingers planted. And the reason why is because it helps for each note. It supports the previous note so that it resonates. It's four. Two. Three. Four. Two. And remember, try to pay close attention to the metronome. Stay in synchronization with the metronome. Go to the next string. Four. Now sometimes, if you haven't done this before, on this sixth string, it could become a little bit challenging. But you will get used to it. This is four. Try to always be relaxed. And what you want to do is try to focus on what you're doing. Sometimes students will do this. They'll play the wrong string because they're not looking at it. Once you get used to it, you'll know where those strings are, and you do not have to look. But it's very important that you look at your left hand because you're trying to train your muscle memory so that you do not make any mistakes. I just went one over that time. Two. Three. Four. One. Two. Three. Four. Now something else about these exercises. They are kind of mundane and boring. So what you want to do is try to make it exciting. Because if not, it becomes more of a challenge. If you get in the habit of trying to make it musical, try to enjoy it. Try to put the extra energy into what you're doing. And then it doesn't seem mundane or boring. I can do this for 15, 20, 30 minutes and love each and every second. Keep the fingers bent. Remember to use down, up strokes. I will all focus there. One more minute. Now remember, this exercise, you should do it at least 10 minutes a day. We're only going to do it 5 minutes because of the time constraint. those fingers bent and planted. We're about to end. 2, 3. This is the last one. And you can stop. Okay, so now that is the finger exercise. Looking at the time to make sure that we're okay. That's the finger exercise. And that is the exercise, concludes the exercise portion for lesson number 5 on the exercise. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're back with the theory section, and so that's on page 10. What I need you to do is look at your book on page 10, and we're going to look at the clefs. What you want to keep in mind that all guitar music is written in the treble clef. There are actually 13 clefs. There are 1,750 instruments in the whole world, and each of those instruments read in one of the 13 clefs. The guitar reads in the treble clef, which vocal music is written in the treble clef. Piano is written in treble and bass, and the flute, other instruments are written in the treble clef, but not all instruments are written in the treble clef. The bass is written in the bass clef. So what I've illustrated here is what the treble clef looks like, what's the alto clef, and what the bass clef looks like, just for reference, so you know, for a point of reference. And so what it indicates, the clef tells you the name of the lines and the spaces. That's very important. For the alto clef, the B is this line, the third line up, that D line. And for the bass clef, it's the G line. It's not G anymore, it drops down. So instead of the second line, the alphabet would not be G, it would be the letter B. Okay, so that's the difference in the clefs. And so there's a theoretical explanation for that, but we will not delve into that now because it could take up all of the time. But I know when I was in college, I asked, why didn't you just write everything in treble clef? But there is a reason, but we won't go into that right now. So, what we're talking about here right now is the guitar music and the guitar clef. So moving on, next, at the bottom of that page, you have a staff. Now, when it comes to learning, what I've done when I wrote the book is I try to condense everything as possible so that you wouldn't have to remember any sonics or a long soliloquy, long explanation, because it loses the essence of what you're trying to learn. It just gets too overwhelming. So I've condensed it. So what I have here is it tells you the lines and spaces. We all know that the lines are called E, G, B, D, F. Every good boy does fine. Easy to remember those acronyms, the first letter of each word. And the spaces are F, A, C, E, which is face. A lot of times what students will say is, what are the name of the spaces? They'll say face. That's not the name of the spaces. That's what it spells. It spells face. But the name is F, A, C, E. That just helps you to remember it. So this is what is on the top line. We're talking about face. All guitar music, and it reminds you again, all guitar music is written in the treble clef. Then it shows the staff, what it looks like. Now, most importantly, it says the staff consists of 5 lines and 4 spaces, and is numbered upward. What that is implying is that you read from the bottom up. You train yourself to read from the bottom up, okay? If you were in Japan, they read from the books from the back to the front. We read from the front to the back. They're trained that way, okay? We're not. So when it comes to reading music, you look down, up. Some musicians, that's why they get confused, their eyes are all over the place, and it becomes cumbersome. So you want to remember that a staff consists of 5 lines and 4 spaces, and it's numbered upward. So when you start reading, you always look down, up, down, up. Okay, that's very important. And you want to remember that, what a staff is, because sometimes you'll see some music and it's not a staff. So as a trained musician, as you will someday become, you want to know the difference, and that's what the difference is. It's very significant. So then we have that staff. Staff consists of 5 lines and 4 spaces. Now, how does that work with the bass clef? Now, let's go back to the bass clef very quickly, just as an example. This clef right here, which is the bass clef. Remember, that's different. And so the lines are different. Now, the reason why I have this is because and I should have put the bass clef here, but I made a mistake, so I'm just clarifying right now. The bass clef should have been here. Now, because what you have in music, you have what is called a ledger line. And the ledger lines are above and below the staff, because you have music that is written below the staff and above the staff. And so it compounds the whole situation. You have to learn those. And when you're reading, it's almost like reading literature. You do not have time to think, what is that note? Just like when you're reading a sentence, you don't have to think, break the word into half. What is that word phonetically? Philadelphia. When you say it, no, you look at Philadelphia. You say it, it comes from practice, but you want to know that. But I just wanted to tell you that it's more than just the lines on the staff. And the reason why they have a staff is because, the ledger lines means that you're going into another staff. But they don't put the staff there. If you're reading in treble clef, it just has it. Now, this is really technical. It may be a little bit off, but subliminally, you'll remember this, and it's an explanation. So if you do understand the music, it'll help you. But if not, this is a treble clef. Look at my timer here. The treble clef and the bass clef, and that's something that you want to stay focused on. Okay, again, now, so we have that, and then we have how to apply this. We're going to go back, and I keep going in between the 2 pages because it's important. Now, when studying, you learn from repetition, okay? So the best way to learn the lines would be to say it 30 times. If you say E, G, B, D, F, 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 E, G, B, D, F. Now, I just did it 5 times. If you do that 30 times, I can guarantee you, in 3 days, you'll know E, G, B, D, F. It's how you study. Now, just to give you a little bit of my background, of course, I went to USC. That's where I got my master's. I got my master's in the science of teaching, not in music. It's in a different school. It's at USC, but they have different schools. They have schools of, law, of dentistry, of all kinds of different, degrees that you can get. I did not get my master's in music. It's in teaching. And so what I learned is how to teach and the science of teaching, the cerebral cortex, how the brain works. So having said that, we learn from repetition. That's why, if you look at it, you go to school for 12 years. That's a long time. 12 years, you're in school 5 days a week, right? 5 days a week, 6 to 7 hours a day. Then when you get home, you have to do homework for another hour or 2. That's like a job. So you're doing 40 hours a week. And you do that for 12 years. That's a long time. But that's how it is with learning. It's a process. And you learn a lot. And we've grown as a nation, as a culture, and how things have developed. But this is how it is. So, not to meander, what you want is to make sure that when you're studying these lines, remember, you repeat everything, even the explanation. A staff consists of 5 lines and 4 spaces, and is numbered upward. A staff consists of 5 lines and 4 spaces, and is numbered upward. A staff consists of 5 lines and 4 spaces, and is numbered upward. A staff consists of 5 lines and 4 spaces, and it's numbered upward. A staff consists of 5 lines and 4 spaces, and it's numbered upward. That's just 5 times. By the time I've said that 30 times in 3 days, I'll know it. I can wake up in my sleep and tell you, a staff consists of 5 lines and 4 spaces, and it's numbered upward. That's what you want. There's not a whole lot to learn, but this will help you in the process so that you do learn it, because it's important. It's important. And then again, because I see students that when we're in our lesson, they'll look at a line and then they'll stop. And they seem to have forgotten what that line is. And instead of using EGBDF, they just draw a blank. And that's not something that's accessible. That's not something you want to do. Okay, I got a little tongue-tied here. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and that concludes the part for the theory. Welcome back. This is the fun part of the guitar instruction, lesson number 5. So what we're going to work on today are the chords. And if you look at your lesson plan, we have the Eubanks Guitar Conservatory guitar chords for you that we've put together. Okay, and so we're going to take 3 chords to work with today. The first one is the A major. So, what I'd like to do is remember, always practice with my metronome. I'm looking at the clock. And also, set your metronome to 60 beats per minute. Okay? So we're just going to play the chords. The first chord is the A major chord. I'll play that. Then I'll go to the A7th chord. Then we'll go to the A minor. So the A major chord sounds like this. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Now, I'm playing whole notes. We'll cover this, but a whole note gets 1 beat before it counts. That's right here. Now, if that sounds boring, you could go for a half note. 1, 2, 3, 4. A half note gets 1 beat and 2 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or quarter notes. Quarter notes gets 1 beat and 1 count. 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now the next chord is the A7 chord, and that's played like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. And again, I'm using a whole note. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 2, 3, 4. Next, it's the A minor chord, and it's played like this. Now, there are 2 different ways to play this A minor chord, or all of these chords are called open position because they're at the beginning of the neck, and some of the strings are open. These are the chords that you normally learn when you're first learning how to play the guitar. And that's why it's important for us to learn it and for you to learn it. So this is the A minor chord. I make it like this. So I use, the fingers are 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the fingers. The name of the number of the fingers. The corresponding number. So the first finger is this finger here. The 4th finger is this finger. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, just as what we were doing with the finger exercise. But a lot of times, books will tell you now, so the A7, they'll ask you to make it like this. 2, 3, 4. The one I just played, 3, 4. But you might have noticed I played like this. I switched. Now you have an option. Now the reason why I played it is because when I was at SC, Duke Miller, who was in charge of the program, was against us using a capo. He didn't want that. You know, if you use one, he looked down on it. So we had to have superior technique. So with this right here, if I need to transpose it, raise it, 3, I can do that. I don't need a capo. 2, I can just go up the same chord. But if I'm doing it like this, there's no way I can do it. So I need, and a lot of guitar players use 1, 2, 3. So you have the option, but I just want to explain that. First, second, and third finger, they use that a lot. I use the second, third, and fourth because it gives me the flexibility of using my first finger as what is called a bar. So then it becomes a bar chord when you do this. Remember, the chord is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. Now I'm going to transpose it, go up. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Yes. So that's the advantage of using 2, 3, and 4. Now, the last chord that we haven't played is the A minor chord. And that's played, again, I'm using 2, 3, and 4. Okay, but you can use 1, 2, and 3 like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. That's a good chord. 2, but I'm using it like this. 3, 4, 2. So if I have to transpose it and go up, I can. 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Yes. Now, so we just covered 3 chords, and what you need to do is to practice those 3 chords. Remember, we have 10 minutes on the fun part. But fun should imply that it shouldn't be just relegated to 10 minutes. It should be whatever, because you're having fun. And normally when you're having fun, time flies. And that's why you want to have fun. Remember, in school, not to talk about school, but a lot of it is strict. They've taken the fun out. So kids don't like to go to school because it's not fun, but it should be fun. So that's why in our lesson, we have 10 minutes of fun. Because if it's not fun, you're not going to like it. That's the best part about studying something, is to have fun. Remember, fun is enjoyable. If it's not, it becomes like a chore, a job, something that you do not like. So what you want is to make sure that you have fun. And you can play around with it. Any kind of rhythm. I'm just going to have some fun. Watch me have fun. I have these chords. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what I'm doing is I'm just sliding up. The same fingering. And I'm keeping in time with the beat. Remember, that's what the metronome is for. It's for your timing. You need to make sure that your timing is impeccable. You want to make sure that your time is perfect. You want to make sure that your time is in what James Brown would call the pocket. That's a term, and it has to be set where you can feel it. 1, 2, I'll play the A major chord. You can play around with it, and then it becomes fun. And that's the whole purpose. And that concludes the section of the fun part. Thank you.